Welcome to another Community Conversations. I'm your host, Ian Parkinson, and I'm here today with Kelli Ireland, the fire and safety educator through the fire halls of the City of Medicine Hat. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So the weather is getting frightful out there.
Yes, it is.
And there's some major issues you want to bring the public's attention to.
Yes.
So let's start off with your main concerns. What are they?
Sure. So yes, the weather has changed here in our community, and in Medicine Hat we see freezing temperatures, we see icy roads, and a lot of snow. And so with that comes dangers and incidents that pose risk to everybody that's out and about in the community. So driving, of course, is a big one. When you are driving, be careful. Roads are slippery, and even though our city does a great job sanding the roads, there still might be parts of the community, particularly in neighborhoods, that are a little more dangerous than the main roads. And so just taking that extra time when you do have to go somewhere, allowing yourself a little extra time to travel is a great idea, as well as just making sure that we're driving slow. If we're not totally comfortable on those roads, it's okay to drive slower than normal. Just keep off to the right and take extra time getting where you're going. It'll just make sure that yourself and your family don't have to be in a car accident or don't end up in an emergency room during this time.
And during this time of year too, people are spending more time indoors.
People are spending more time indoors and staying in warmer places, right? And so with that, we often see homes that are using space heaters in certain rooms of their homes to keep themselves warm. Yep. So make sure that when you do use a space heater, you are keeping those away, about 3 feet away from anything that's flammable or combustible. As well, making sure that they're unplugged when you leave the room. Super key, because those have in the past, and we've seen them, we usually have 1 or 2 space heater fires a year, and during this time of the year, and so I don't want that to be anybody in the community.
A statistic.
A statistic, that's right.
Now this is the time of year too when people are starting to fire up their fireplaces.
Absolutely. And it is recommended that you have your wood-burning fireplace inspected, because there's the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning in the home if you're not properly ventilating your wood-burning fireplace, and there's also a risk of embers flying out of the fireplace and starting a fire.
Well, you've also got a carbon monoxide issue too.
Yes, absolutely. And we've already had a couple calls this season for people feeling ill or smelling something that's not familiar. And so the problem with carbon monoxide is it's the invisible killer. That's its second name, because you can't smell it. It's colorless, so you can't see it. And then all of a sudden you start to feel sick. And the problem there is that a lot of the symptoms are similar to flu. So you might just think, oh, I'm coming down with flu. I'm coughing, I'm feeling dizzy, I'm feeling nauseous. The thing is, it could be carbon monoxide poisoning, which can be fatal.
So then we're into, you can buy smoke alarms now that have carbon monoxide sensors.
Yes, that's right. So you can buy a carbon monoxide detector that you plug into a wall outlet, but you're right, they're also making smoke alarm and CO devices that come together in one unit. So those are as effective as a carbon monoxide detector that sits on the sort of lower part of the home in a wall outlet.
Now, if somebody knows absolutely nothing about smoke detectors other than it's this white box in the ceiling, what should they look for on the box or the device to make sure they're getting the proper smoke alarm? Yeah, the right one.
Usually the first thing you want to check is whether or not the current device you have in your home is battery operated or hardwired. That's going to tell you right away if I need to go buy a hardwired one or a battery one. Hardwired means that a lot of the time the devices are interconnected, and so if you have one on the ceiling upstairs and downstairs, they'll talk to each other. And so when one device goes off, they all go off, which is really great if in the case there's a fire upstairs and you have someone sleeping downstairs. Now both devices are going off. So hardwired are a better option. However, battery operated devices work as effectively. So that's the first thing you want to look for. The second thing you want to look for is, do I just need a smoke alarm or do I need a smoke and CO combo device? Again, we recommend the CO and smoke alarm functionality. It adds that extra layer of protection in the home.
Now, are these smoke alarms tested by some professional organization?
Yes, they are tested and make sure that they are safe for any home.
So you should be looking for something like the Underwriters Laboratory, the UL logo.
Yes, the UL symbol with a C and a US means that it's been tested for both US standards and Canadian standards. And that goes right into something that I know are popular gifting items for this holiday are electronics.
Yes.
People have cell phones, people are getting smartwatches, we're getting kitchen appliances, electric scooters. They all have one thing in common, and that's a rechargeable lithium-ion battery. With lithium-ion batteries, there are risks. And those risks are, if they overheat, they can start a fire and they can explode, and they're a lot more dangerous than we used to have 17 minutes to get out of our home. Now they say we have less than 3 minutes to escape a home in a house fire, just because the way our couches and our drapes and the way that our houses are constructed, we have less than 3 minutes. If, however, it's a lithium-ion battery in, say, an electric scooter, we have less than 1 minute because they explode.
Okay, so
when purchasing, I would say the biggest thing you can look for this holiday when purchasing or gifting something that has a rechargeable battery in it is making sure that you're buying it from a reputable retailer. Making sure that you're buying the charging cords or the charging devices right from the manufacturer. Rather than, it's very easy to turn to Amazon and purchase something that, might be a little bit cheaper, better price. However, that does pose risks, and I think so it's very important to go right back to the manufacturer and purchase charging devices from them directly.
One of the biggest issues too in this festive season is extension cords and power bars.
Yes.
I can remember as a young child there was always the commercials of not staging together 100 miles of these 2-prong cheap and nasty 50-cent extension cords.
That's right. During the holiday seasons, we change our homes. We are decorating them and hanging lights. With that comes likely extra outlets needed to plug in these different decorations and items around the home. So don't overload an extension bar. That poses so many risks to cause a fire.
And I suppose you're looking, if you buy a power bar and extension cord, there should be some safety logo on there as well.
That's right. So anything that plugs into the wall, it's the same as the lithium-ion batteries and the charging devices. They should be marked with a symbol by a third-party testing company to make sure that they are safe and that they've been tested. UL with the C in the US is the most common one in Canada and the States. However, there are other companies like CSA and Intertech that can stamp their approval in Canada.
Oh, that's a new name to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a whole list of them, but there are a lot that are just meant for different countries, particularly in Canada. Those are the 3 most recognized symbols.
Okay.
So when you turn over the device and you're purchasing something, like a power bar or a charger, look for that little symbol. That means it's been tested in a laboratory and is safe for the home.
Okay. The Christmas tree argument, real versus artificial.
Yes.
What do you have to be careful with real trees?
With real trees, it is so important to keep them watered. they can go up in flames in a matter of, there's a video online that I recently saw, 15 seconds was a dry Christmas tree and the entire living room was on fire. So when we're hanging lights, or if we have candles in the room that are burning, and if they're anywhere near our dry Christmas tree, that's going to pose a huge fire risk. So making sure that we are watering our real trees regularly will help reduce that risk.
Candles are like 3-year-olds. They need supervision.
They need supervision. Make sure you blow them out before you leave a room.
Is there anything else you'd like to bring up for safety and education for this time of year?
I think it's important for everybody just to remember that we are always here in the case of an emergency. So please call 911 if there is ever any signs of carbon monoxide poisoning, if there is a fire, if there is an emergency, we are always here. However, make sure you have working smoke alarms in your home. It is the number one thing that we can all do at any time to make sure that our family can get out safe in the case of an emergency.
Now, if I've recently moved into a new home and I've got a fireplace or wood-burning stove, or I need help with an escape plan,
Right.
can I call the fire hall?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can email us or you can call us. If you visit our website at medicinehat.ca/fire, we've got lots of great public education information on that you can learn from and use to help create your escape plan. But we will also come to your home for free to do a home and life safety check of your home and work with you to make sure you have the right tools in place for your family.
Excellent. Thank you for
You're
coming
welcome.
in, Kelli.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Thank you for watching.